Naji wadau, Omwami again in a political length podcast. Today we're going to talk about Western politics, how politics in Western part of Kenya has just come up. And today we just host one of the experts that are well conversant with these issues of politics in Western, Bwana David. Anajita sa Max ama what? Lumax. Welcome Kiongozi. How are you? Welcome in our podcast. You can introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm called David Mailuk. I'm a political oriented personnel. I'm well conversant with politics, and that is what I've been doing for quite some time. And I say thank you so much for hosting me here as we start.
People have been saying that Western part that they are disunited. How can you say about that issues? Waluya wawezi ungana pamoja.
Yeah, so I think at first place, I want to agree that in Western region there's a lot of division, and that is true in reflection of the current affairs that are happening. There isn't political temperament that emerge as a result of division or political division. Contrary ideas. For example, the ODM currently, we know that the Western part is one of the ODM strongholds. And we know very well that currently as we speak, since the demise of the late Honorable Raila Odinga, we've experienced a lot of problems, chaos that has actually led to even more division. So that is true. In Western, I think I can describe as the most affected area, because actually to this point we lack direction. We lack direction because we can see our leaders, they have different opinions, they are dividing themselves in pursuant of their personal interests. So that is what actually is affecting us as Western.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, what is your look on that perspective of kingpinship or in the politics of Western part?
Yeah, so I think you've just said about Papa Atwoli. Francis Atwoli is a well-known, those figures in Western that we all know for long, and he has been there. But I want to tell that Francis Atwoli is one of those political figures that we usually look into, but in reality, Papa Atwoli sometimes he does not predict, or he has no idea of how the Mulembe nation, the Western part of the region should go, because himself is always having no strong stand. That's why we usually have a lot of chaos. Even himself, he cannot bring the Mulembe nation together, simply because he's always having a different perception on, even for example, the current Sifuna, Caleb Wamisi, and Ososi. We can see these three gentlemen, they're trying now to emerge. Their prominence now detects something that in Western we don't have a kingpin, and it's true. If Papa Atwoli was to be the kingpin for Western, then it means he would have been able to even bring these old people, including the Mudavadi, Wetangula, and all these Boni Halwale. Yeah, so I think we have a lot of problems that needs to be resolved. And now as we speak, the only thing that can make us come together is if we bury our differences and have one, or sit on one table, so that we discuss our issues based on on the look of how things are running in the country. Because we know in this country, politics has been defined by various factors, including the tribal factors. It is well known. Yeah.
Okay.
So
now we have seen that the elders of Busia and the elders of Bungoma, they have called out Honorable Senator Sifuna to come and bless. They come and bless Sifuna. After they have just declared it, we have seen that President William Ruto has just come and declared that he'll come and have some 3 days tour in Bungoma. What is your view? Is it President William Ruto is afraid about this man Sifuna, or what is your look?
of course, as we speak, William Ruto, our president, is afraid of Sifuna. That's why he's doing everything. Even the ouster of Edwin Sifuna from ODM is the person champion for that, and we all know about that. He's trying to disunite the ODM party that has been founded since 2005 by the late Prime Minister Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So currently, as we speak, Sifuna is well known in this country and is creating his own political space that either no one could even be able, as we speak, could be able to fit in that shoe. So Sifuna is emerging as now the footstep of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And his impact in Western politics is very high. And he's trying, even as we speak, not only in Western, but across the country. Yeah.
Okay, that Oparanya has been supporting so much Sifuna, but now the president is so against Sifuna. What is your look? Is it Oparanya is now declared that is now coming to support or support the fellow Luya, or what are you trying, like what is your look or perspective? Is Oparanya risking his job or what?
Of course, always, when we are anywhere, be it in opposition or in government, you must always look into the future. What Oparanya is trying to do is actually is also trying to define his own political space or political route, because he cannot be the CS for many years. It is like a contract.
Very true.
And we know very well even him getting that position was a result of the emergence of the Gen Zs that later transpired into chaos that led to even the current broad-based government. So Sifuna, he can also be supported by Oparanya, but his support may not be something that we should trust, because we know if he's in government, he's trying either to get some more ideas on how Sifuna is running his own programs. So he might be having two objectives there. Either is truly truly supporting Sifuna, or is trying to get something from Sifuna so that he also tries to bring him down.
Very true.
And that is what we usually experience. In Western, we usually, when we see someone going up, we usually want to bring this person down because we fear. It's because of our last blackmail and betrayal. Tunatama mingi.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it that Governor Paul Otoma, the governor of Busia, his political wave inaenda ikishuka chini? Unaona hiyo wave itaenda vizuri ama ataendelea kuwa stronghold?
Of course, as we speak, Otoma is risking himself even to clinch on the 2027 the second term. Because his current act that he did publicly, it was a true reflection of disrespect, and therefore, for us as Busians, people from Busia, we need to have a leader who is able to control his emotions. You cannot act when a citizen just doing some acts of trying either to get these seats, but you're now pushing this person as if maybe you know very well that this is not your person. As a leader, you have to accommodate everyone, regardless of how they may say about you or how they may do about you. So I think Otoma, probability of him winning for the second term is very low. As we speak, it can be either even 20%, because we know he has so many opponents, and these opponents, I know there are so many, but when they come together, these people will be able to defeat Otoma. Yeah.
Okay, when you come to the politics of Trans Nzoia, the county of Natembeya, that man called Natembeya has come up with the Tawe movement. You have seen that Natembeya, he has unable to run his activities as a governor without any support from national government. We have seen that when president come in western part tour, we have seen that president atakangi kwenda huko hivyo kufanya maziara, because there's not good rapport between a governor and Natembeya. Do you think that that one is going to cost Natembeya, or Natembeya is on the right track?
I want to say that Natembeya is on the right track, because you know it should not be that you must be in government for you to benefit in any of the government benefits. So for example, the projects, the affordable housing that are currently underway in various parts of this country. So this perception of us always pretending that we should bow to some people, we should praise to them so that to bring in more development. I think that that perception or mentality must stop, because Natembeya is that man who has accept that he doesn't want to be directed on what to do. He has just shown his own part and is able to do his own things without having people from external factors. Because the government led by President Ruto, we know always, is always trying, he wants to capture everyone. And we must have contrary opinions.
Very true.
There's no way you can force me to support you. I might like you, but now what you do might make me not to like you. So we must differ. Yeah, we must differ, and sometimes contrary opinion, it doesn't mean disrespect. But it's just trying you to try to be mature in something that you do. Yeah.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, we have seen that Natembeya, that on national television, one of the national television, Mheshimiwa Natembeya said that Sifuna is a good man and is ready to work with Sifuna, but he cannot undergo his term of Linda Mwananchi because this one is internal conflict of ODM. He cannot enter on that. What is your perspective concerning that issue, Mheshimiwa?
I think these people can work together. I think Natembeya is one of those persons who knows very well that he doesn't like interfering with other people's affairs. So that's why he's always showing he shows his support. But now he cannot directly go to people's affairs because it is something that is still there. The ODM issue started some time before even Baba died, and Baba was one of those persons who used to control or to manage all the disputes within the party. But Sifuna with Natembeya, the only thing Sifuna can do now is him to have his own political stand and not even engaging with the opposition, the so-called united opposition, because they have no direction at all. These people are also just being fed by the laughs and betrayal, because at the end of the day, they don't have a clear agenda. The opposition have no clear agenda. So Sifuna with Natembeya, these people can make a great impact in Western. Yeah.
Okay, is it good that Sifuna China Mambo ODM to come in Western and join DAP so that they can work?
First thing I want to tell you that the issue in Western is not about political parties.
Yes.
The issue in ODM or in Western is all about personal interests. Personally, because we had so many parties before. We had Ford Kenya that even just a few months ago or a year, it just collapsed and emerged with the UDA. We don't know how it was structured.
ANC.
Yeah. So the issue with the DP Kenya, led by Eugene Wamalwa, I think Eugene Wamalwa is also chasing his own political space. And therefore, uniting these people may not be so easy. It's about personal interests. Even today, if Sifuna decides, let me work with Eugene Wamalwa, it is very easy. But if only they think of the future that is there for the people of Western, because we've been experiencing a lot of division for quite some time. That is the reason why we usually being depicted as watu wa tumbo, in quotes, watu wa tumbo, kwa sababu wanatutambua kwamba wanasema kwamba hawa hata wana msimamo, hawawezi kuja kwa pamoja, so dividing them so easy. Yeah.
So Bwana Mheshimiwa, I've seen that in Western part, in the leadership of Saizi, in the leadership of the Honorable President, the Dr. William Ruto, I've seen that the lawyers have been they have some top seats. That is, we have the speaker, that is Honorable Dr. Masika Otangula, and also we have a diplomat, that is Mudavadi. But we have seen that people are claiming from Western that those two people, they are not helping. What is your view? Are they? Is that true?
I want to say I want to agree with your point that it is true. We have people in Western who have big position in this government, but they are helping Western with the nothing, because they are just there because of this personal interest that has pushed them to be there. So their main issue is not about helping the people from Western. They have been there for quite some time. I remember very well the issue of Mudavadi. Mudavadi has been in this political space for over 40 years, and we all know about that. He was a CS of Treasury, and Western was still remaining the same always. So his impact, even being the prime cabinet secretary, it doesn't add anything to Western people. So I think it is time for Western people to think on the right part, for us to have a say, even in every election, because we cannot pretend that we are together. Wetangula is the speaker, but he's always using that position to demean others. He's using those positions to belittle others and to suppress them, to accept that he's the father of the Papa Roma. He wants to be praised, they are helping Western people with nothing. Yeah.
Okay, much more you have seen that ODM as a political party is one of the stronghold party in Western part. Okay, do you see that ODM will still outflow in Western part?
As we speak, currently, ODM, the probability of ODM collapsing is very high. Currently, we have a party leader who is always being told what to be done. Even, I remember very well when the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, on the same day in the morning, when the news came, we were told that Sifuna will be retained there as the SG. But some hours later, there was a press conference that Sifuna will no longer be the Secretary General. So these orders came from the higher position there, from the government. And we know very well, it's something that has been structured by the government led by President William Ruto. They are doing everything to dissociate the ODM party. And ODM party in the next, even in 2027 election, it will not have a say because of the division that Oburu cannot be able to resolve internally, but instead involving the external factors.
Very true.
When Baba used to be the party leader, the ODM party leader, Baba was one of those persons who allowed people to air their views, regardless of whether you're opposing him or not. But now we speak of Oburu. Oburu is that person who is always there, seated and waiting to be directed what to be done.
Very true.
So ODM, I'm very sorry to say this, but ODM may soon be a local party led by a few individuals who have tried to just sell their political interest to some few individuals in the government. Yeah, so they want power. They want power. Yeah.
Okay. I think that the program of Linda Mwananchi will help to affect these guys.
Of course, the Linda Mwananchi program currently led by Sifuna and other politicians like Orengo, Kalebo Amisi, and Ososi. This will define the political shape in 2027. And therefore, anyone taking this program for granted is dreaming. So the Sifuna-led team, the Linda Mwananchi, this program will define the 2027 election. And only if they don't associate with the opposition, the so-called opposition, that they are united, and yet they are not united. So the Linda Mwananchi program, I'm fully supporting the Linda Mwananchi program because that is where most of our voices are being heard, and we are able even to raise our issues without fear. So this is a democratic country, and if everyone is allowed to speak of what he feels is right for him, so I think that should be something that we should appreciate.
In 20 seconds, sir, just tell the viewers what is your view on Western politics.
So my view and perception about the Western politics, I would like to encourage our people in Western that let's embrace unity in everything that we do, because we know that in Western, this is among the top 3 regions that have many votes, and therefore as people we must come together and define every political space or every election in this country, so that to be able even to represent our people in the national government. So I would like to urge even Sifuna, Let him continue leading us the way he has decided to have his own program, so that as Western people, we should not be taken for granted. So I really appreciate the movement, and we are looking forward even supporting him more and everything that he's doing. So that is what I can tell, and even the Gen Zs, let's try to mobilize ourselves. Let's turn up, let's register as voters and make the things work. If we don't register as voters, we will always continue speaking and always have no impact in the political space. So let's try to mobilize ourselves. Let's have the consciousness of ensuring that everything that is done in the country, we are also involved. It should not be that the old people are taking decisions that will also affect us. So that is what I can say. Any young individual outside there, just think, in the next 10 years, where will we be? Or we will still be crying about the issues that are currently affecting us, because we have a lot of problems that needs to be resolved now and not tomorrow. We as young generation, we have risen up, and we are not going to tire or to get tired of this. We shall continue pursuing for our spaces in the political field. So I would like to request everyone, come out and let's have one voice as a people. So thank you so much for those who are watching outside there, and I appreciate for this opportunity, and I hope that next time again we shall engage on the same, because we have a lot of issues that need to be discussed.
Very true.
Yeah.
We have been talked about a lot of issues that are concerned in Western part. The more important part as we approach in 2027 election, shika kura kijana ya Western, shika kura mama ya Western, shika kura mzee ya Western. Let's meet on the next episode as we involve and discuss more about politics. Bye.